Trust Africa and Tax Justice Network Africa hosted the Pan-African Conference, which focused on illicit financial flows and taxation. The summit's 2020 theme profiles the Africa we want post-COVID-19, optimizing domestic resource mobilization from the extractive sector for Africa's transformation.
The African transformation agenda hasn't changed with the pandemic. If anything, it has become more compelling. The extreme dependence and vulnerability of our economies to external shocks have become more obvious than ever. Development aid, foreign direct investments, and remittances from the African diaspora, which perhaps together are the most important sources of development finance, have all suddenly been seriously reduced, if not stopped, in a number of ways, as a result of the pandemic and some of the responses to the pandemic and the global economic crisis that followed the outbreak of the pandemic. And so continuing to rely on those sources, development aid, foreign direct investments and so on, for development finance would mean compromising our chances of achieving sustainable development goals and the goals of the African Union's Agenda 2063.
Executive Director of the Third World Network Africa, Yao Graham, highlighted the importance of the theme, which depicts the need to find collective strategies in the continent's extractive sectors.
And also that really the Africa we want has not changed fundamentally. But the COVID-19 pandemic has sharply highlighted the imperatives and the urgency of working for that change. And secondly, it's also added an important dimension. One, the key challenge remains that the African transformation agenda from a socioeconomic point and political point of view is to end the continent's primary commodity export dependence with a political economy dominated by transnational corporations, and also end its subordinate insertion into the global political economy on account of that raw material commodity export dependence.
The Senegalese Minister of Economic Planning and Cooperation, Amadou Hott, also joined the online conference and said this year's theme appeals to countries in more ways than one.
Mesdames et messieurs, après la phase de résilience, il est important de réfléchir aux initiatives à mettre en œuvre pour accompagner la relance durable de nos économies. C'est dans ce cadre que le Sénégal a procédé à la validation du PAP 2 ajusté et accéléré, le PAP 2A, pour la relance de l'économie nationale. L'Afrique que nous voulons après la COVID-19 doit être souveraine au plan alimentaire, sanitaire et pharmaceutique, doit être industrialisée pour la création d'emplois massifs, doit être productive et transparente à la faveur de la transformation numérique. C'est pourquoi le PAP 2A se focalise notamment sur la souveraineté alimentaire.
The past few months have brought unprecedented challenges amid the global pandemic, which has disrupted our societies, lifestyles, and affected all economies, according to Minister Hott. Nations are facing urgent challenges in mobilizing adequate financial resources to support recovery.
The lack of a financial transparency in the extractive sector all too often allows for sector-wide corruption and prevents government from collecting the needed revenue. Illicit financial flows related to the export of extractive commodities are the largest component of IFFs in Africa, serving to further drain the continent of critical resources necessary to drive its development agenda.
All panelists and stakeholders in the forum echoed similar messages and reaffirmed their commitment to advance work for African unity and help reduce illicit financial flows by 2030. Sainabu Jagne for GRTS News.